on the theater, no? When they rehearse, you know, and they sit down and, you know, with their blocks and all the shit, and then they come up to show something, you know. He made too much noise, no? And when he was telling somebody it was too loud, I say, look, you disturbing me, you know? I was going home for 3 days, and then they asked me to come back. I say, only if this guy put some other shoes on.
It's interesting as B.I. told me yesterday that on Fitzcarraldo, that you had become Fitzcarraldo. It was not even a matter of...
Yeah, but you know, it's so limited. You know, as we talked yesterday about this documentary, how full of shit this is. You know, everything is false. What you know, this is not how it happened. How the documentary is. No, it happened much tougher and more interesting. What the jungle concerns, you know what I mean? He wasn't even able to shoot that pink clouds where the ship was going in. You know, he wasn't able to because he was sleeping still at 10 o'clock in the morning. How can you sleep in there? I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning with the jungle. I woke up with the jungle and I fall down almost, even if I couldn't sleep at 7 o'clock when it gets dark. So, you know, it's just the same thing, you know? There were things that, I mean, I could do, but, you know, actually in all these movies I did with him, things which I agree with in those movies, I forced them to do it. I forced them. I mean, I just told them if he didn't want, I say, okay, if you don't want to, okay, we don't shoot at all. Okay, this ways, you know. You know.
I mean, beyond the script, even beyond.
He can maybe, yeah, of course, no, not beyond the script, and then on the other hand, how doing it, just doing it, you know, just doing it the way. When I did Daguerre, same thing, you know. I don't need a hunchback to be a hunchback. I just am a hunchback. I mean, it's nothing. It's not natural for me to say this. And people might sometimes say, okay. People sometimes say, okay, oh, you are so large, your shoulders, and in this movie you were so small. Or somebody says, oh, you're so small, and the screen you're like this. Because it is, because you became it, you know what I mean? I can't stand this stuff when they say, okay, this guy for a movie, he was eating now for 6 months and he got fat. Oh, okay, that's his problem, you know what I mean? You know, it doesn't need it, you know what I mean? It doesn't need it. No, it's cognac. It's the best cognac in the world. But I give it to the world. Because yesterday yesterday they tested it, they tasted it, and they like it so much. Before they became criminals to break in the bank, I bring them. So all this talk about, you know, this, but directors is so a pain in the ass, you know, it's a culture of directors. And then it's not important anymore what the movie is, and then they say the actors, or they are in Francis verse, they say les comédiens, you know. It's like the chicken, you see, you have some chicken, you cannot call them horses because they're chicken, but they call them chicken. So I always tell them I have nothing to do with it, because it really, I don't want to be called an actor, I don't want to be, somebody says, one of my actors. I say, I hope you know me, because I'm not one of yours, and I'm not your actor, I'm not nothing of this shit, you see. So being director, calling himself director is always full of shit. What is your profession? I'm a director. What does that mean? It's like an opera singer has a card and gives it to somebody who's written opera singer, you know? I saw that, but they couldn't sing, those guys. You know? Nobody ever in the world, neither major studios in America, nobody ever knew in France. No, I mean, I know studios all over the world, from India to Tokyo, the first silent movie studios where Kurosawa was shooting. I've never seen a studio where they did something good for people, you know? I mean, really, for people, it means not only for us, for everybody.
In terms of truth, in terms of...
No, in terms of living, of life. Those people are working 14 hours a day. They have no life. What sort of life is this? There's no life. Not only them. I mean, they come home, they crack down because they're just exhausted. 10 hours in movie making is exhausting, okay? I mean, and they do it 14 hours, 15, 16 hours. And they come here at 7 o'clock in the morning. No, having fun. Spielberg has a sense for these things. When I had a meeting with him in MGM, he had a big room, all this video machine, and he just, you know, he has a sense of being young, of playing into things, you know. So giving people fun, I heard this word fun so many times, and I always ask, what do you mean exactly? There's no fun, or there's no fun. It's so easy to say have fun, you know what I mean? But give people fun first, and then say have fun, you know. No, I mean, those big thing what he built here, you know, it's a big land around, which is all belong to this original. They don't make I don't know, soccer place, because they all like soccer. Or, you know, or whatever, you know, or other places, gym places, you know. They always talk about that for half a century. Nobody's doing it, you see. In China, maybe people are doing it in the manufacturer. They go out once a day and they do this movement or so. And other manufacturers in the world, they just try people to move. But this is not all, you see. I mean, what is wrong with that? Why people should be stuck in all this shit there for 14 hours all their life, you know, and doing movies? And that other people talks about it, you know, and they have, I mean, they cannot even, sometimes they have even in studios, I mean, wherever, they have it standing up, you know, the lunchtime, you see, standing up in the same poisoned air without any oxygen. Okay, but this is included. It's included, you know, calling himself director is already very suspicious, you know what I mean? It's like somebody, you know, was a little kid, I'm your teacher, what the hell are you teaching me, you know? Just let me see what you're teaching me, you know, first of all. You know, those terms deform things, you know? Directors, I have no relationship to a director. I have no relationship to any director in the world because I just don't have it. I hate them. I just hate them. I mean, physically, I'm allergic, you know? I love horses, I love the sky, the ocean, whatever. I hate them, you know? I hate them because they're pretentious. They're most of all. I mean, I don't tell you the name for him, not for me, but he wouldn't care. He's one of the best producers in America from New York, and he's really good, and he's really a man, not only a producer, he's my friend now, and I did a movie. He said, you know what, every director is arrogant, and I said, most, he said, no, most of them, no, almost everybody, he said. Okay, that was from this point of, because he had to do with that a lot, and with famous directors too. The point is that all this, I mean, all this, those determinations of things are always not perfect and not complete. It's always, you always say, accept the exception, of course, you know, always say things. But the thing is, the culture about, you know, about this thing, you know, as I say, well, there are other countries too. I mean, I don't know which one exactly to give you an example, but I know there's not a big deal about directors. I mean, they must have the talent. That's included. What the fuck is people always talking about talent? If you don't have talent to hold your camera, you're not a cameraman. You're not a movie maker. What does that mean? There's no point to talk about it. But just doing it, I mean, I like this expression, the American expression before I came to America. I like that expression, American, just do it. You know what I mean? This expression, just do it, is maybe real America. It's maybe real America, you see, which I really like, and this is what actually fascinates me in America, the real America, you see, which is actually means everything. Instead of talking, do it, you know, which is good, you know, which is the only way to understand things, you know. But I have no relationship. I can like somebody, or somebody has understood that the best way is, you know, agreeing and let me do it, you know. If they don't understand, you know, they can fuck themselves. I don't care, you know. I think, you know, I don't depend on them. See, I don't depend on. If somebody doesn't know, I can do as many movies, you know. So, it's not. This is really my point has nothing to do with arrogance, because I'm really the opposite of it. But I really hate the opposite of what I am too, because it's just a pain in the ass, you know. As long as I'm not concerned, I don't care. Everybody can do what he wants. But just being a pain in the ass most of the time in very tough conditions, you see. So it takes all your strength and all your energy out of you. So and you ask yourself, why? What for? You know? What for? That's why I always said all my life, well, why I have that? Why I have to do that? Why I have to be something like a truck? Why I give all my most of my life I gave for it, you know. I did that not because I think, okay, I have to, and it's so great, and I want to be famous and all this shit. No, it just happened. And I always didn't want. I always said I don't want it. But then when you do things, of course, you do things which passionate you because there is something in it. And if nobody fucks it up on the way doing it, you know, then you just get involved and you won't think about it anymore. Yeah. But there is no, I say there is no answer for questions like relationship and how you like them, what you think of them. You know. I mean, the opposite. I'm the extreme opposite of a lot of people who say I respect the director, I listen to him. What? To what? To what? What, do you want to teach me to breathe or what? I'm not blind, I don't need a dog to cross the street. What the fuck does all this mean? The arrogance, what this producer, and you would understand immediately that he's a great producer, and I would tell you the movies he did. So, the arrogance, the pretentiousness is that they just pop up and want to tell you, you're doing this, you know, they, well, who are you talking to, you know? Instead of what people in theater or wherever, what you call director had, the greatest, had the sort of, however you call it, admiration or whatever for that, what they want. If I want something, so I'll be as clever as I could be to get it out of somebody. Not to disturb him at all, because, and even including, it can be dangerous to be wrong with him. If you want to see an animal in the wilderness, go close to it, but be clever, not to disturb it, because not only it runs away, but it may even kill you, you know what I mean? And this is all the same thing, because if you want out of people something extraordinary, it means out of the ordinary, what people waits for, so then behave yourself like that to get it out, you know what I mean? There is no director in the world, not for me, who can say, do it. You know, there's a story, maybe there is a story which is true in Italy, and I even have it in my book. So there was somebody who called himself director, and you know, it was just a shit from me. And I was nice, as I almost am in the first place. So look, you can't do that. I can't do this thing. It's ridiculous. People will laugh about that. Say, okay, do it. I say, come on, I just told you. Let's find another way. Okay, in few words, it became a sort of threatening from his part. He say, I'm the director. I say, I don't know what you mean. Show me your passport. If you write it in, or if you write in your passport, now you believe it. Or, okay, now cut this crap out. Let's do it, shoot it in the way possible. So he said, okay, if you don't do what I say, I kick you out of the car. They will kick you out. As you a shit. I didn't do anything. I have the right to be here. As many moves I want. You can't do it. It wasn't either. Okay, years ago. And he said, okay, then I prove you will never do a movie anymore in your life. I say, look, this is dangerous for you because I'm made for it. Okay, everybody in the world agrees with it. Okay, everybody who wants me, and there are a lot of people who want me. So this has nothing to do with myself. It's just facts. Okay, now you want cut it out. Okay, but it's dangerous to say that because before I decide not to do it anymore, which I want to do all the time, I want to decide not to do it anymore because you really, I really want to get away from it, okay? You make me sick. But before God or whoever and me decide, you may be dead. Or for sure you're dead before. And 1 year later he was dead, you know what I mean? And people in Italy say, my God, you killed him. No, I didn't kill him. I just said something which you cannot say. I just told him something you cannot say because it's stupid. How could he know? How could he say that he wouldn't die before I decide that, okay? That's true, the story is true. I mean, there's nothing special about this story. It's just how it happened, you know? It doesn't mean anything so much. Maybe it means something, I don't know. I shouldn't say things like that. No, because I hated them so much because I had to stand in the smoke. And the smoke was, there were tires, they burned tires, because the ship has to be a steamship. But inside was a diesel machine. So to pretend that it's a steamship, they had the smoke. But there wasn't smoke, so they had to burn tires. And the wind was pressing it down. I was standing there and I was inhaling the smoke of the tires. I thought my stomach blows. I was white and I was feeling bad. Okay, now, so, what should I care about the cigars? Yeah, you know, things just happen, you know, but actually it's not good happen if things like he pretends the story with a gun, which is a lie, a stupid lie. If I say there is no gun with 9 bullets anyway, and I was the only one who had a gun. But I mean, you know, the point was, my answer in this sort of dialogue is, yeah, come on, I just wait for you, you know, I want to see the piranhas eating you, you know. And then he came back and excused himself at 4 o'clock in the morning. That was the whole story. But I mean, other things happen. I mean, this. What is the big point? People always want to know things. I don't have to hide it anyway because as I have it printed in some books, I always said I don't need to be fucked in my ass by Pasolini or Visconti to appear on the screen because I can't appear on the screen without being fucked in my ass. And if I want to be fucked in my ass, then it's me who decides. But I don't have to be fucked by a director on my ass to appear on the screen. You know what I mean? So I don't have to. I don't have to hide that what I'm saying. It just happened, okay? And it doesn't mean we cannot maybe somebody cannot make movies which interest people, you know what I mean? Opposite, you know? If somebody fights, two painters fight in their studio, what the hell is this? It's not the problem of other people, you know? If they want to know it, they can know it, but it has nothing to do with their paintings, you see? So,
Yeah.
you know, so that's why I don't have to hide anything. It would, besides what's the big point anyway? You know?
Well,
Yeah, of course, there were much more fight than this. And in Fitzcarraldo, I gave them a real kung fu kick in his face with my shoes on the ship, because he was just so wrong that I couldn't stand it anymore, you know? It was after this smelling all this way, and with 2 or 3 cameras, we were sure, and I know when it's good, okay? When the close-up is okay, because I can feel it, you know? I just can feel it. So he came and said some shit, and it was just too wrong, you know? So I kicked him. You know, and then he came back 10 minutes later and asked, okay, now you want to shoot? I said, yeah, of course, that's what we're here for. We were shooting. You know, that's a good thing with him, because actually, what does it mean, you know? If he really wants to do movies with me and I want to do movies with him, it doesn't matter you jump on your throat and beat me in sometimes, you see? Which is even understandable sometimes. But then he understood a lot in those years between the movies, and he said it everywhere in the world. He said it, he admitted it everywhere, no? So he didn't say, he admits it, you know? There's nothing wrong with it. I would always say, you know, Bruce Lee's master in Hong Kong, he was 85 years old. He was the greatest kung fu master, this Chinese guy. He learned it all from him. But he would never say, this idiot, I didn't learn him. Opposite, he always said, he's my master. No? So of course, everybody who knows more about things, or who knows less, listen to the one who knows more, no? If it's true, no? So he didn't say, he admitted this sort of things, okay? What he actually himself he learned in those years. But on the other hand, you know, I'm not part of his frustration, you know what I mean? Opposite, you know? It's coming up for 3 years, we're meeting all over the world. For 3 years, we're talking about this movie in the Himalayas. Always telling me, no, I can't write on the price. Well, fuck off, what do you want from me, you know? Always coming to me, telling me this shit, to hear from me that I say, no, you must, look, the world is waiting for you. You know? And he should know it, because we know each other 15 years, no?
Is there a mythology, though? Is there not a mythology that he uses?
No, I mean, he is convinced about things. He said, it's not surprising when he says, and this is what is printed thousands of times, when he says, what he says about me, in a good sense, he means it. It's for sure, I know that. And the good things I said about him, I mean it too. But I know where it makes sense and where it doesn't make sense anymore, you see. So, point is actually, if he comes now and says, okay, now, can we leave on 1st of March, you know? And I would say, yeah, come on, you go now to my agent and to the lawyers and makes a deal, and I better be there too, you know? So, you know, so this I would answer. I wouldn't say, you know, hey, you were going on my nerves the last 3 years or whatever. No, but what I want to make clear is for myself and for other people who are part of a responsibility is just, I just don't like people breaks deals, you know, and gives a shit on contracts and so, because nobody ever has humor for me when I would break a contract, you know. So no, this is what the story is about the gun with 9 bullets, you know. What the hell he needs to tell this story around the world, because the story was first known in France when the movie came out and was his great success in France, and it came out in Paris. So his public relation idiot asshole, he put the story in the public relation in the kit, you know what I mean? Which was full of shit, because it was his story, his telling, you know, Herzog's telling. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, how can this idiot say that? I was so naive. How can he say it was exactly the opposite? What is the point in it? Okay, now from this time on, people ask him, newspaper, and so ask him on television everywhere in the world. Like me, they ask me, and he always repeated, because he couldn't say he's a liar, you know what I mean? So it was getting worse and worse, because it's just thousands of times printed and say it and tell it. All this story, 15 years. You know, and as long as it can't do well with me, and tell you what, when he said, all this newspaper people they were laughing. This is a good thing in America. They take it don't take it so serious, you know. They have humor. And all those guys, they said, a picnic out there. Okay, now, tell us, you. What do you think about what he's saying? And first of all, I don't know this guy anyway, you know, just to give an answer like this. And then I said, okay, I don't have anything against the story because he can do what he wants. There's only one little correction. He could never have threatened me because he didn't have a gun. You know what he did? He took the microphone out of my hand and said, it's not true, I had one, but I hid it. And I had a special permit from the government in Peru, which was very tough to bring a gun, and I put it in. And every time I wanted bullets, and then I didn't want it anymore because I just don't like guns, you know. We were shooting in the moon. We were shooting in the moon, and at night we said, look, the moon is so close, it's true. And the moon. Yeah, and one I was hunting just was for eating, and it did it on open fire. But, okay, now there was a special permit every time they had to buy when we were back in Lima once or so. In Lima. In Iquitos, you know? Must be two sisters. Maybe they're... So, just to have 20 or 30 or 50 of this, you know, shells or also Winchester. So there was no way that he ever had a gun. Everybody knows he didn't have a gun. Besides, the whole thing is a stinking lie because he never said that, and then it's written in a lot of years. And this was what forced me to be nailed down or whatever in front of the camera. Or I came back because he, after that, I said, fuck off, you shit. I'm waiting for you on my raft. I just wait for you. Come on, I can't wait for it, okay? And I want to see them eating you. Adolf Hitler, I always called him Adolf Hitler because he had a mustache and he really looked like Adolf Hitler. Look. It's just not a big deal to tell him. But, okay, now he came back at 4 o'clock in the morning, as I said many times, to excuse himself. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. And so I said, okay, let me alone now. 4 o'clock in the morning, the jungle is so beautiful. I was so surprised that he was there. He was pissing off my whole day, messing up my day all the time when he appeared, you know, because I just forgot about the movie all the time. I always, in the jungle, it's just so strong, so powerful that you forget about the movie, being in the ocean, you know, on the South Sea, you know, and think about movie, you can't, because you just watch that all the time, you know what's going on there around you. There's the same thing in the jungle. So I was really surprised when he popped up, you know, always telling me about scenes he was shooting with other people the day before, telling me at 4 o'clock in the morning, what the hell, I want to know. Okay? I have the feeling America has space, not only in the has space here, the meaning of the people, of at least of a lot of people, or of the majority. And if I say that, I always mean the young people. I have the feeling in America, the young generation relives, or tries to relive the pure idea of America, you know, the pure idea of people who founded America, who said, this will be America, this will be a country, it will be free, and everybody who is not free may come here, you know. In simple words, this is the things, this is what I understand about America. And you can see it everywhere. You can just see how people drive the car. People are not running over you in America. They stop the car, and this is a big difference, you know. It makes a lot of difference in life, you see. So, of course, yeah, I think as a country, as a civilized country, I mean, where, besides the wilderness, it's where I want to be, is America, yeah, and I appreciate, you know. Besides that, America has even wilderness. Still wilderness, you know. Oh yeah, otherwise I wouldn't be there. And then I said, when my son was born in Paris, I said, there's no way that my son grows up here, you know, in Europe. It's no way. He's the only country I wished and I hoped he's growing up as America, you see. And that's why we live there now, you know? And she's going to school already for more than 3 years now. So, oh yeah, that's my choice. I mean, my choice, I'm happy that I can be there, you know.
Is it possible that, I mean, are you anticipating other American productions or in terms of working?
No, this has nothing to do with this so much. No. They asked me to come to America from Hollywood. They asked me in the last 15 or 18 years, they asked me 3 times. So I didn't go there because I didn't know what it was, and I wasn't mad about that, you know, because I did so many movies here. They offered me about 20 movies a week in Italy, you know, and other countries. So I just had to pick which was the highest paid. That's what I actually did for a long time. I didn't even read the scripts, nothing. I just asked my agent how much and when, you know, and can we put another one between the two and so, you know. I tell you, really, all the time. And I did 11 movies a year, 10 to 11 or 9 to 11 movies. So, and I like to be in Italy, you know, because my mentality is very close to, very impulsive, and I get along great with Italian, you know, because my temper is similar to Italian. But then, you know, I couldn't, after the years I lived here and did so many movies, besides that I was around the world all the time, the half of the time, but actually I did about 45 movies or so here, you know, this year, almost 50 movies. So I liked because, you know, in that time when I lived here, it was different. It was like when Fellini say Dolce Vita, no, it was just a party. Every day was a party. I mean, not a party of people get down. It was just happiness, you know what I mean? And this was actually before I ever stepped to America. No? It was still Europe for me, and so I escaped from country to country. And I couldn't stand any country. You know, it couldn't be long in any country. Everything was too tiny. You know what I mean? Too tiny. Everything is too tiny. You know, I don't think I'm the only one who knows that anyway. So it's like people, you always talk about money. Fuck, I don't know about money because I don't want to talk about bullshit, and they always want to talk me into, yes, but, and I say, wait, don't finish your line. I know it, you know, and I know it, and I do it, and not because you say it, okay? Now, so I made it short, you know, I always say, no, I do it just for money, just for money. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not true, who knows, but it's my problem. Okay, and friends, you know, they would never accept it, you know, and for years, they took it like a joke, okay, but this film, we didn't do just for money. I say, yes, this only for money, just for money, you know, which is actually true. But what comes out of it only counts. If comes something out of it, people are impressed by, for instance, then it doesn't matter you did for nothing or you did for millions of dollars. Or if not, even less, it's interesting for what you did it for. You know, it's also stupid. You know, it's all for nothing. You say en français, gratuit. It doesn't mean it's gratis.
Yeah,
free. It's free. It doesn't mean anything. This question. They just want always to blame something on you. You know, always saying, yeah, you and why and he and so. You know, I did once for 20,000 people the New Testament. You know, it was one of my shows I did. It means I was standing there and I was saying it. My way I was saying it, okay? So I changed the Old Testament. I put the things in from today and so. And I got a lot of money for it, but I mean, I had a contract for all over the world to do it, but I did it only 2 times, and I said, fuck off, LV, because I don't want to finish like this, like he finished, you know? I want to be nailed on the cross. So then people ask me, yeah, but you ask money for it. I say, yes, and a lot. And what does they do in Rome and what they do in your church, what they don't ask money? They ask much more money than I got. Okay, this stupid question, you ask money, what does it change? What does it change that somebody says the words which may interest people, or they pretend for 2,000 years it interests them, okay? What does it change? You get money for it saying it or not? You know, it's all false. It's all false. You know, that's what all those talk in movies, most of the talk about things is all false, it's all lying, you know. And the thing is not because it's so alarming that's lying, the thing it's so boring, you know. This lying is so boring, and people are bored by it. This is the point. The people, the audience of television or who sees these interviews, they are really bored by it. Open the toilet every day to know how it feels, you know? Everybody knows how it feels. No, but television, it becomes other dimension, not only if you kick a table or so and a talk show because you're full of shit and you allow yourself to show that to 20 million, 30 million people, this crap what you are because you just masturbate yourself. You know, it's good actually to do that. I mean, I hope many people will do that. I don't do it on purpose, as I said, but because if he wants to be a pain in the ass, okay, he gets my arms. No, but when it became, this is not so important actually, it just concerns you know, but other things are more important. When I came to Berlin, for instance, okay, Berlin, which I really, not the people are good everywhere. Now the young people, I from country to country, from Tokyo to Hong Kong, from Hong Kong to Berlin, from Berlin to New York, to Rome, everywhere the young people are just beautiful. I mean, they are just beautiful. They are so innocent when you see it. When you see it from your point, because you're not part of it, maybe they don't even know. And you see what this, I mean, the destruction of the world, what they're coming closer. If you see, it's really visible, it's almost touchable, okay? Now, when you go out here in Rome in the streets in the evening, and it's full, crowded of young people, you have the feeling they want to touch each other, they want contact, you know, but in the best sense of the word, in the purest in the world. And seeing this, that the hell, they're not doing anything anywhere in countries to appreciate this and to be happy about that, because like the jungle in South America, if you kill this green, then nobody can live anymore because it's giving oxygen. But if you ruin the young people in the world, there's no life, there's no future anymore. You know, should be known by everybody. But I am afraid a lot of people doesn't think about that so much. I'm not the only one for sure. But okay, they asked me in Berlin, okay, Berlin, which I, as a place, hated because I had to go to school there. I hate it most of all. It's sickening me because that's where they killed my mother on the street with machine guns, and where I had to be later, and I had to steal and to survive and all this shit. Okay, it's nobody other people's problem. Nobody's problem except mine. But getting back there, and I refused movies to do there, even American movies, I don't go there anymore. Okay, now on this, you know, this big deal with the wall in Berlin, all this shit, hating each other, and you know, for half a century instead of, you know, doing anything. Because I know what's going on there. Okay, now, just people ask me, okay, when I came television and they asked me, what do you think about Berlin? I think, I'm in Berlin, I think I'm in Czechoslovakia, I don't know what, you know, just to give them another answer, because what they mean what I'm saying. I think it stinks like it always did, and in half a century, which is actually the dramatic point of it. They asked me what I think about this place. I said it's not only like 50 years ago, like half a century, it's worse as it was, you know? And I say, take this fucking church away, which you're proud of, this half-cutted fucking like a rotten tooth in the mouth, you know, this shit, and blow it away and make places for people, for young people, make them happy instead of killing them, you know? They ask me what I think, so I tell them what I think, you know? So this is actually, people should say what they think if they know. You know, I think it's nothing special. It's not so much actually because somebody thinks, oh, I'm telling the truth. I can't just do anything about it. it just comes out of me because I think it's the only way to live. You know, the rest is boring and disgusting, you see. But on one hand, yeah, on one hand it was important to go to this place because to learn even more about what is really going on in the world, because not by newspapers you're learning it. That's not written in newspapers every day, you know. Or the movie they had so did about this little boy in Nicaragua, you know, a 10-year-old boy with a machine gun in hand, and he said he has to kill the people because they cut his mother, they chopped her to pieces in front of him, you know, and then the people always tries now today tries to survive, like, you know, when a ship breaks down, you know, Titanic or whatever, people kills each other to survive, you know, they put the other aside. Okay, you can see it's human or whatever, but what does it mean to be human? It doesn't mean a great thing, it doesn't mean a great deal, so then, you see. So when they interviewed yesterday, I saw it because sometimes I switch television on here when I come here, you know, hyper from the work, and there I can't sleep, and I switch them on and switch it all the time, and I was just because people ask them, what do you think about, people ask the people and say, what do you think about this blowing up this airplane there? Nobody ever gave the answer and said, one word stops them, however. Kill them, stop them, whatever, kill everybody who wants to kill somebody in the world. Or just stop him, stop him, stop him. Okay, they ask me, everybody gives an answer like this. Yeah, it's very difficult, you know, it's very complex. Who wants to know this shit if there only one people died, you know what I mean? You know, it's too complicated because it's Palestine and who's behind? One said Russia, and the other said no Russia. What the fuck does that mean? They're already dead. And if they continue talking like this, there'll be much more dead. Many more dead, you know? That's what all this crap is in newspapers, you know? They feed people one evening and they just eat it like they eat a bad hamburger. And when people say something, don't eat that hamburger because you found worms in the meat, they don't get it anymore. They cannot register anymore. They cannot receive it anymore. They line up more next day. You know? When I was doing Little Drama Girl, and the idea is great of this book, okay? The idea of the story is great because the first time somebody said, okay, who cares where you come from? Who cares you're from there? Just you are a killer like anybody's if you kill. You know what I mean? This is what the point is, you see? And nobody, and that's why people say, okay, we are against, because they think it's against us. And it wasn't against nobody, it was only against killers, you know? I don't mean how good or how bad the movie is. I mean, I don't talk about that. I mean just the idea of the book, which is not very new. But when I was in Jerusalem, there was a correspondent from New York Times. There was a woman, and she asked me, what do you think about the situation in Israel? I said, me? You ask me? What? Make me president of Israel, then I tell you. What is this? What, you know, like I say, prize, give me the Nobel Prize, it's $400,000. You know, it's so full of shit. Asking me, I'm a tourist there, I'm doing a movie, me about the situation. Okay, and then I told her, okay, have breakfast with me. We don't give interviews because Warner Brothers asked us not to give interviews. I said, no, the movie's not finished. All right, okay. Now, and then I said, but privately, I can tell you, you know what to do? Take the barbed wire of the flowers in the park, which separates the old city and the new city, because I have been here in 1954 and I've seen the barbed wire on the wall, and little babies were running on the ground and playing and laughing, and the Arabs were sitting up there with machine guns. This situation was so incredible because there wasn't shooting. There was just this situation. The little kids didn't know anything about this shit what this other people did over their head. Okay, now it's yours, I said. But the barbed wire is still there, and only flowers are going over, and there was hanging a Coca-Cola can in. Now, you want your kids growing up with this shit. Most of the people who has now 30, 40, 50 years came out of the ghetto of Warsaw. And when I was there in Israel, I have seen this on Lochamea Ghetto. It was one kibbutz where they had this museum where all those pictures from the concentration camps were in. And they said when children in school, they had them drawing things, and every kid was drawing barbed wire. Terrible, it makes you just blow your head off, because they came like little babies with their mother, and even their mother, when she had a number on her arm, then she got it even maybe when she was a kid already, because they were young people, no? So, most of them. Okay, now, this was 1954. Now they ask me what to do. It's still the same barbed wire with Coca-Cola can in, and the floor, but it's still there. You know what I mean? So this is very important. Even if you say what the barbed wire has to do, it has to do with it. It has to do with here, you know, it's here. They didn't grow up, they didn't learn anything. And I know people, I love that country. I mean, I really was wild about that country, because when I was getting there the first time, it was like a new world. And everybody of this young generation in Israel said, yes, this is a new world. Okay? Anywhere the world can happen. And they had this meeting, the 10 years of the ghetto of Warsaw, and there was somebody standing on the phone. There was a first meeting for whole Israel. They came, and I remember one thing. Somebody was standing on the phone, an older man, and he said, okay, now the reparation is coming from, what they call reparation is coming from Germany. They send us rice or whatever for this reparation agreement, okay, for what they did or whatever. If you ever can repair it, because they made once a count how my money is for one dead people. It's not even $100, I don't know what, you know. So anyway, so he said, and this rice stinks from the gas of the gas chamber. And the young people there, down there, were screaming, shut up, we don't want it anymore. We don't want to know. We want to live. We don't want to hear you shit anymore. We don't want it. We just don't want it. We do everything that it never happen again. That's what they're screaming. He couldn't talk anymore. This was a very good sign. I mean, it was just fantastic. They said, okay, because we're not dumb, we're not forgetting it, but we don't want to fill up our life with this, you know? So stop hating, you know? So but it's concerning a lot of things. I mean, even if you cut out this crap of what they call political in other countries, you know, they do. They only talk, if you switch on French television, you know, and they talk about movies, they are so full of shit, you know. But so full of shit, I mean, that I really liked in America once about a movie. He said, you must be French to find this, to understand this. Only to understand this, he said very nicely, he said, you know. What they think is good. They cannot even talk anymore normally, natural. They cannot even know everything. They, you know, if you even ask somebody, okay, that's your first part in the first time you do a movie, how do you explain? Only this, how do you explain that? How can you explain the character? It's impossible. Okay, now he explains it and puts in, I mean, son of crap. I mean, I can't even repeat. He puts every shit in what with all your concentration could imagine what anybody could could put, and he puts all the shit together in one answer, you see. Yes, it is, but actually it's not, and then it's not political, but if you really think it is political, and these two guys, you know, it is a story, yeah, they like each other, and so, but because he met her at a demonstration, but it is not, and all this shit, who wants to know that? Who wants to know that? You know, but they, you know, but then you don't wonder about, you know, if you see that, you don't wonder about what movies coming out, or what the question or what the answers are about the whole thing, you know. Then they ask, okay, how do you find it? Everybody makes compliments to everybody, you know, because it's good to make compliments, because then the other guy is doing the same thing about him, you know. It means, so he leaves doors open everywhere behind, you know. And it's always good not to be shaved and a little bit dirty, you know, and the hairs are not combed and a little bit dirty, you know, so that you don't care. You know, it should show people they don't this crap. You know, interviews in Paris, I swear, interviews are only like that. And then they don't sit like people sit in the chair. They sit like this, you know, because to tell how natural they are, you know, and all this. Yeah, they call it in America, that's another thing. They call it actor school, you know, that sort of stuff. But they even misunderstood even this, you know, because they mix it up with political shit. So my answer was in France, and I think they did thousands of interviews with me in Paris. So my answer, when they came to that point and answered me, what do you think about left and right? You know, they mean in political, à gauche, no, gauche, à droite. Left and right, they mean, I never understood that. I say, my whole life I was asking what the hell the meaning. I'm left-handed, what does it mean? Okay, and then when I knew what they meant with it, I refused to understand. I said, okay, yeah, gauche, yeah, I'm left-handed. If I must stroke myself, I do it with the left hand. I said, and it was written all in newspapers, but they don't even agree about it. I think they don't even get it. They didn't even get it. It's like with a hamburger, you know what I mean? It's a hamburger, they say, okay, don't eat that hamburger anymore because we found it's bad meat. People are lining up double next day because they don't hear it, you see? They only hear the word hamburger and the name of the hamburger place, and they say, oh yeah, I'm going there anyway, every day, you know?